The morning Olivia Carter realized something was terribly wrong, the office felt unnaturally cheerful. With polished executives laughing over expensive coffee while the people who actually kept the company running sat quietly behind glowing computer screens trying to prevent another hidden crisis from becoming tomorrow's headline. After nearly 8 years as the lead systems architect at Northbridge Freight Solutions in Chicago, Olivia had learned that the louder management celebrated their own ideas, the closer the company usually was to making a disastrous mistake. The celebration was for the arrival of a new chief technology officer named Ethan Brooks, a charismatic executive in his early 30s whose impressive resume and confident speeches had already convinced the board that he was the visionary who would transform the aging logistics company into a modern technology empire. During his first meeting, Ethan proudly announced that the company's core software would be completely replaced within 6 months because, according to him, old systems belong in museums, not billion-dollar businesses, causing uncomfortable silence to spread across the conference room. Olivia calmly raised her hand and explained that the so-called outdated platform handled millions of daily shipping records, coordinated thousands of delivery routes, and had survived every major crisis the industry had faced over the previous decade without a single catastrophic failure. Ethan smiled politely before dismissing her concerns in front of everyone, insisting that artificial intelligence and flashy cloud platforms could replace years of careful engineering. While several younger managers applauded without fully understanding the complexity of the system they were so eager to abandon. Over the following weeks, Olivia noticed that she was quietly removed from important strategy meetings, excluded from technical discussions, and replaced by consultants who produced colorful presentations filled with impressive buzzwords but very little practical knowledge about the company's actual infrastructure. Rather than arguing with executives who had already made up their minds, she documented every decision, preserved every email, and carefully organized every legal agreement connected to the software platform she had originally developed under a separate licensing company years before joining Northbridge as its on-site technical advisor. Everything changed on a rainy Friday afternoon when Human Resources invited Olivia to a brief meeting that ended with the company terminating her position as part of what executives described as a necessary modernization effort. Believing they had eliminated an expensive employee instead of realizing they had just severed their relationship with the owner of the licensed technology supporting nearly every critical operation in the business. Olivia walked out of the building carrying nothing more than a small cardboard box, a folder containing signed contracts, and the quiet confidence that sometimes the strongest response to arrogance is not anger at all, but simply allowing people to experience the consequences of ignoring the truth. Back at her home office overlooking a quiet river, Olivia opened the secure management portal for Carter Systems LLC, the independent software company she had founded years earlier before Northbridge ever became her client, and carefully reviewed the licensing agreement that both parties had signed with experienced legal counsel. The documents clearly stated that continued access to the platform required timely licensing payments and compliance with maintenance procedures. Yet the quarterly renewal invoice remained unpaid while the company continued using the software as though nothing had changed. Monday morning arrived with dark clouds hanging over the city, and within minutes of employees logging into the shipping platform, automated safeguards suspended licensed services after detecting an unresolved contractual violation exactly as the agreement specified. Distribution centers slowed to a standstill, delivery schedules stopped updating, customer service representatives were overwhelmed with calls, and executives who had proudly promised a flawless transition suddenly found themselves facing the largest operational crisis in the company's history. Ethan insisted that someone had sabotaged the business, but the company's legal department quickly discovered that every action taken by the software followed the signed contract word for word, leaving no evidence of hacking or unlawful interference. As attorneys and board members examined the original agreements, they realized that Olivia had consistently warned management to review the licensing terms before making major organizational decisions, advice that had been ignored in the rush to impress investors. The board urgently contacted Olivia and requested an emergency meeting, where she remained calm, professional, and respectful despite everything that had happened, making it clear that she had no interest in revenge or personal humiliation. She explained that restoring full operations would require either renewing the licensing agreement under updated commercial terms or purchasing the intellectual property outright, allowing the company to own and maintain the technology independently in the future. After several hours of difficult negotiations, both sides reached a fair agreement that compensated Carter Systems for years of innovation while transferring ownership through a legally documented transaction that protected everyone involved. The restoration process began immediately, engineers worked together throughout the night, and by sunrise the logistics network was operating normally again, proving that cooperation and respect accomplish far more than pride and impulsive decision-making. Instead of retiring immediately, Olivia accepted an offer from Horizon Transit Group, a growing competitor that admired her technical expertise as much as her professionalism. And she negotiated a role that gave experienced engineers a meaningful voice in every strategic decision. Together they designed an entirely new platform using modern technologies without abandoning the reliability learned from years of real-world experience, creating a system that became known across the industry for both performance and resilience. Meanwhile, Northbridge slowly rebuilt its reputation by changing its leadership culture, introducing policies that required executives to consult technical specialists before approving major infrastructure changes. Ethan resigned several months later after acknowledging that confidence alone could never replace experience. And many employees viewed the difficult episode as the turning point that finally encouraged the company to value expertise over impressive presentations. As Olivia looked across the bright engineering center filled with collaborative teams solving complex problems together, she realized that the greatest victory was never about defeating another company but about creating workplaces where knowledge, integrity, and mutual respect could thrive for generations to come. Please subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends and family. We create entertaining and inspiring stories for our viewers, and your support helps us continue making great content for you.